Hey there, everyone. This is Pastor Luis Medrano. I'm coming to you here from my home, and on behalf of all of our pastors and our elders, I want to extend to you a warm greeting wherever you might be. Now, I know these last few weeks and months have been very difficult. Many of us have been struggling with this quarantine and not being able to be with our family and friends. The governor just in the last couple of days has announced that this is going to go on for at least a few more weeks. And so it makes it difficult for us to just find joy in our community when it seems like we can't be together. You know, when I was thinking about our name, New Life Community Church, I was thinking to myself, what makes us a community? Is it the programs? Is it the services? Is that what it is? And, you know, the Bible actually tells us that the church expresses its community in very specific ways. And one of them is the Lord's Supper. It's when we gather as families together for a common meal. All of us can find this time of being unified together and sharing in a meal, remembering the things that Christ has done for us. So, what about the Lord's Supper? You know, last month we weren't able to prepare in time for it. And so, what's going to happen this month? Well, I'm happy to report to you that we will be sharing in the Lord's Supper this coming Sunday online. We are going to gather as a family in our homes, and we're going to share in the Lord's Supper online. I know some of you are thinking, that's weird, that we've never done that before. And that's true. But I do want to remind you that the church, Christ Church, it's been practicing the Lord's Supper at home for centuries. Think about it. There are many countries in the world where Christianity is illegal or dangerous. Look at the persecuted church overseas, where families are gathering together and out of fear of retribution by local authorities or the law, they practice the Lord's Supper with their families in their homes. There are many people who are in hospitals or they're confined to their homes. They're not able to get to the church, and they've also been receiving the Lord's Supper in their rooms. And if you really think about it, where was Jesus when he introduced the Lord's Supper to us? The upper room. And every time you see Jesus participating in community and sharing in the Lord's Supper, it's always in someone's home. And so I just want you to know, I know it's weird, I know it's different, but it is biblical. And so I am grateful that we have the means by technology to gather together as a family and together partake of the Lord's Supper online. So what do we need to do that? Well, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and prepare. And I want you to take this seriously. I want you to think about it. Saturday night or Sunday morning, spend some time in prayer. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 says that we need to be right in our hearts. We need to have our hearts set before we take the Lord's Supper. It isn't just drinking a cup and eating a cracker. It's really getting in tune with Christ. And that takes some time in prayer and meditation. If there's some things that have been a barrier to you in your walk with Christ, maybe your attitude hasn't been the best. Maybe you've got fears that really you need to give over to Christ. Maybe there's some anger and some frustration that you just need to submit to the Lord. I know those things are difficult, but they're all part of preparing our hearts for Holy Communion. And so allow yourself some time of just remembering who Christ is and that we are in his hands and that all will be well. And then Sunday morning, depending on the service that you're attending online, prepare. And I thought, what a good idea it is. Like, for instance, for those of you in the English service, if you're going to have lunch, you know that during our online service, we're going to have worship, there's going to be a sermon, and it ends with the Lord's Supper. What if that was the transition into your normal lunch with your family? That would be beautiful. So how do you prepare? Well, I'm going to suggest that whether you're alone or with a family, each person needs to have a cup, their own cup. And what you're going to do is make sure that everyone has a cup and you can pour some juice into that cup for the Lord's Supper. And so as I'm sharing the Lord's Supper online, you at home are following along and you have your cup. Now, we prefer to use grape juice and sometimes we have grape cranberry. To be honest with you, this is a highly symbolic meal and we're not going to be strict about what kind of juice you have. So just make sure you have some and that everyone has their own cup. And make sure that those that are participating are number one Christians and that they know what they're doing. Now, you may not have matzah or unleavened bread, but you know what? You can use whatever crackers you have at home, whether it's some Ritz crackers, graham crackers, or even a loaf of bread. As long as you have a cup with juice and some bread, you can participate in this Lord's Supper with us online. And so I'm going to guide us through it at the end of the service. And wouldn't that be neat if you can go right into your lunch with your family there at home? So, yes, we are going to be sharing in the Lord's Supper together for the first time. We're going to do it together online. And just as we prepare for this weekend, I want you to remember, folks, that part of our community, part of being together, is recognizing the beauty and the joy of family being together. So let's take advantage of that and encourage one another. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. We don't know how long this will last. But one thing I do know is that King Jesus sits on his throne and that he will see that all things go well. And so we're just going to trust God. We're going to follow through and be responsible, and we're going to make sure that we're gathering together to remember the wonderful, great things that Jesus Christ has done for us and the things that he's doing even today. He is worthy of our praise, and he is worthy of us gathering as a family, united to remember him. God bless you wherever you are, and remember, I'm always pulling for you.